Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for starting your week with us here on MTN News. I'm Aja Goare. Our top story today is breaking news. A missing Missoula teenager is identified as one of the two murder victims whose remains were found bathed in chemicals. The Missoula County Sheriff identified the victims as 15-year-old Marilyn Pickett and 24-year-old Jackson Wiles. A missing persons alert went out for Pickett last month. 23-year-old Tiffany Pierce and 26-year-old Augustus Standing Rock are charged with the murders. The remains were found in bins of chemicals at a home on Strand Avenue in Missoula. An informant told police the victims were stabbed to death at the home in July. The remains were found in mid-August. No motive has been determined. In other news today, Irma has now been downgraded to a tropical storm as it heads north over Florida. The storm made landfall Sunday in the Florida Keys as a powerful Category 4 hurricane, and it's punishing Florida's Gulf Coast. CBS's Mola Langi reports.
Historic floodwaters are raging through the streets of downtown Jacksonville.
And we have the St. Johns River literally bringing whitecaps.
Irma's storm surge has pushed the St. Johns River to heights never seen before.
It's bad now. It's going to continue to get worse.
Nearby Atlantic Beach is also taking a beating from fierce winds and floods. Rain from Irma started falling in Tallahassee Monday morning. Evacuation orders were voluntary here, but from the look of the roads, it seems many people left town. Hurricane Irma made landfall in the Florida Keys early Sunday. This morning, evacuated residents waited in line to get back home.
Now we're trying to get in, and unfortunately, they're just not letting us in.
Irma weakened as it tracked north, but still punished millions of people along Florida's Gulf Coast. Power is out for about 6 million customers, and at least 200,000 residents are in shelters. In Miami, 100-mile-per-hour winds snapped at least 2 construction cranes. Lincoln O'Barry is surprised nearby residents weren't evacuated.
These cranes that are 45, 50 stories up, if they fall, they have the potential to go 3 or 4 blocks.
Cleanup is now beginning in Fort Lauderdale and other areas where Irma hit first. It'll likely be days before the full extent of the damages are added up, but some residents are breathing a sigh of relief that Irma was not the monster storm that many feared. Mola Langi, CBS News, Tallahassee.
Irma left at least 5 dead in Florida and killed 37 people in the Caribbean. Here at home, Montana is getting a little financial help to cover the escalating firefighting expenses. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Federal Emergency Management Agency has authorized federal funds for Montana's firefighting efforts. FEMA funding was approved late Sunday night for the Highway 200 complex of fires burning in Sanders County. The fire is threatening 925 homes and businesses around Plains. The fire, now burning over 20,000 acres, is 14% contained. Federal funds also approved for the 8,200-acre Moose Peak fire burning in Sanders and Lincoln counties in Montana. At the time of the request, the fire threatened 45 homes and businesses in the East Fisher River and McGinnis Meadows area. That fire has 0% containment. FEMA funds also going toward the West Fork fire in Lincoln County. That fire threatened 747 homes in and around Libby last night. The fire also threatens businesses, transmission lines, and cell towers. The blaze is burning over 9,900 acres of federal, state, and private land with no containment. Meanwhile, the Alice Creek fire burning northeast of Lincoln is burning more than 27,000 acres today. A temporary 35-mile-per-hour speed zone is in effect for a stretch of Highway 200 east of Rogers Pass. Firefighters on the ground will remain in the fire area as long as it is safe to do so. Evacuation orders issued Friday do remain in place. At last word, there was no containment. Crews got some help fighting the Sprague fire in Glacier National Park. A pair of Canadian super scoopers dropped water from Lake McDonald on areas of the Sprague fire. That fire has destroyed the historic Sperry Chalet, and it's burning more than 14,400 acres. Evacuation orders remain in effect from the south end of Lake McDonald north to Logan Pass, including the North McDonald Road. The waters of Seeley Lake are closed once again due to the Rice Ridge fire. This as many residents are finally allowed to return home. Mandatory evacuation orders issued for all but 6 homes in Missoula County have been lifted. The blaze is now more than 135,000 acres with just 8% containment. Evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect for Powell County residents living east of the nearly 133,000-acre blaze. We turn now to the weather scene with Rob Griggs. And Rob, how are we doing smoke and air quality wise around the state?
Well, this morning we were looking pretty good for places like Seeley Lake, and that's actually kind of turned for the worse as we just saw the fires are still a problem out there. So let me show you what the latest air quality readings are as of just about an hour or so ago. Seeley Lake really is the problem area with that hazardous reading. Other than that, we've got some unhealthy air in Broadus and Lewistown, in the Flathead Valley, and in Hamilton. Everybody else is starting to improve a little bit. Looks like we've got some wind that's starting to clear things out, and the Helena ICAM, most of it's there anyway. East winds 5 miles an hour, 77 degrees. Here are the big 3 headlines for us across the state. 2 more hot days for us, but then cooler temperatures later this week. And guess what? Rain and maybe mountain snow showers before the end of the week. True story. We'll have the complete statewide forecast in just a moment. Aja.
Thanks, Rob. We're looking forward to that forecast. An investigation is underway today after 2 women died in a car crash near Glacier Park International Airport. The head-on crash happened on U.S. Highway 2 just before noon on Sunday. The Flathead County Sheriff identified the victims as 32-year-old Holly Richards of Bozeman and 40-year-old Linda Contreras of California. Authorities say Richards was the driver of a vehicle that crossed the center line and struck Contreras' vehicle head-on. Both women were pronounced dead at the scene. Montana Highway Patrol suspects drugs were a factor in the crash. And a Billings man is dead after a rollover crash on Interstate 90 in Jefferson County. That crash happened Sunday afternoon in Cardwell. MHP reports the 57-year-old victim lost control of the Jeep he was driving when a rear tire failed. The Jeep crossed the median and rolled. The driver was killed and an older male passenger was injured. Both occupants were wearing seatbelts. The crash remains under investigation. Switching gears now, a memorial service to mark the 16th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks in the U.S. began this morning with a moment of silence in New York City. Family members who lost loved ones, survivors, as well as dignitaries attended a service to commemorate the victims. President Trump laid a wreath on the memorial stone engraved with victims' names. Nearly 3,000 people lost their lives when hijacked planes were used to strike fear into the nation. One World Trade Center was erected as part of the rebuild of the destroyed World Trade Center complex. And 9/11 memorial services are taking place across Montana today. A crowd gathered at Montana State University Billings this morning for its 16th annual remembrance ceremony. That ceremony was held at Montana's 9/11 Memorial, which features a 612-pound steel beam from the site of the destroyed World Trade Center. The 9/11 First Responder Scholarship commemorating heroes and others killed was presented to Chris Laurent, a student in the paramedic program. Still to come on the noon news, North Korea makes a new threat amid possible sanctions for its latest missile launch. Details when we come back. But first, Rob has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching